What's up, guys? Welcome back to Libertalia Game Supply. We got a deck profile here that I've been waiting for a little while to be able to do. I've been waiting for cards to come in the mail, and it's just been a hassle for whatever reason recently, but we got them now, and so I wanted to show you guys my build of the deck. It's fairly standard. The only thing that I will note at the beginning here is I do not play the DPE engine or package or whatever you want to call it. Just didn't really have an interest in playing that. It just seems so splashful, like everybody gets to play it, and obviously that's probably your better choice if you wanted to be competitive, but I did not want to be competitive. I wanted to have fun and play the cards that I like. So we'll get going here. Triple Scout Buggy. I had it at 2, and I had the Sting Lancer at 3, and I ended up just swapping those back. So I thought the 2 would be fine because if you had, it doesn't only summon from the deck, it can be from your hand too. The problem I was running into is if I summoned one and it got negated or something, the second one is now also dead. So having the third one just kind of works around that a little bit, and I like it well enough. Also, like, you have the cards that recycle stuff back into your deck, so you can pretty much always keep one live if one is in your deck. So I thought it was just a really nice card for generating bodies, putting bodies on board. That's what this deck does. Triple Scale Bomber. Special summons itself from your hand when an insect monster is summoned. It's also a free negate on the board. Pretty much you're just going to tribute itself every time to negate some things. Yeah, pretty standard. There's the double Sting Lancer. So like I said, I had 2 and 3. Now I have 2 and 3. The reason I cut this one down to 2 instead of 3 was the effect is really good, but it doesn't do much in terms of like progressing your board state so much as trying to slow down your opponent's board state, and it's a nice body, nice 2400 attack there. This usually, if I get it on the board, apart from being able to search your spells and trap, if I get it on the board with the Hercules, or the Neptune rather, this is usually my target to boost the attack too, because it can become really big really fast. So I play the 2 there. The one Assault Roller as the extender takes the place of that Aztecapede that was being played previously, and then the one Neptune. This thing is MVP as far as the main deck Beetrooper monsters. That ability to summon itself by shuffling back from your banish zone is really cool. It works really well with Armor Horn. The 1000 attack in the end phase ends up being pretty decent. So those are my Beetroopers. I play a pretty simple Battle Wasp engine. We got 3 Sting, 3 Pin, and 1 Arbalest. I was playing 2 Pin and 2 Twin Bow, and I just didn't like Twin Bow that much. It didn't seem to come up often enough, and I wanted to condense it a little bit. So really I only saved myself 1 spot, but 1 spot could be important depending on what you fill it with. So pretty standard Battle Wasp engine, as well as our 3 Resonance Insects, kind of like the heart and soul of a lot of the combos in the deck. So you got to play 3 until they take them away from us, hopefully never. For techs, I got the Goki Pole and the Killer Needle. So pretty much just to get the Goki Pole to search the needle, and then special summon the needle, and then continue on from there into whatever your fusion plays, your link plays, whatever it is you're going for. Doom Dozer, banish 2 to special him. 2800 attack is no joke. It can be pretty handy if you're getting stuck in a bad spot, or you got to get over a monster that's a little bit bigger. It's got a big enough body to be able to do that. I would not play this plus Aztecapede plus the Assault Roller. It just doesn't seem necessary. That's kind of overkill on those banishing from graveyard special summons. I suppose you could, but I just didn't have a need for it, and I only wanted the 2, so I settled on Dozer and Assault Roller. We got the 1 Primitive Butterfly, is pretty much a Cyber Dragon for insects. It ends up being fairly handy. Like I've used it often enough to not want to cut it. I could see why you wouldn't, just because after turn 1 it starts to become a little bit more of a brick. But I've not really run into the problem enough to not want to play it, so I like it a lot. And then the Godarla, just to get over some monsters that you might have trouble getting over otherwise. Even though this deck does a pretty good job with creating big attack, it's more about getting over things with nasty effects. For the hand traps, I got the triple Retaliating Sea and the triple Ash Blossom. One of the better hand traps in the game right now, and probably for the foreseeable future. And then Retaliating Sea, just really good synergy with the deck. So I like it at 3 and 3. I suppose you could try to put in some other hand traps too. Like there's some stuff you could probably trim down to make room for other ones, but I like having the combo pieces more than the things to negate. Pushing to win rather than trying to push your opponent to not win seems like a better plan to me. Triple Chalice. This could be any effect negation card, so Imperm, Forbidden Dropless, anything like that. This was the cheapest one to get my hands on. I didn't really want to spend the money on more Imperms and more Droplets right now, but if I were to take this to a tournament and want the best chance of winning, I would probably put in the Droplets or the Imperms, probably the Droplets, because that card is so good. But for now, for budget-friendly, Triple Chalice works pretty well for the same purposes. Double Descent is just a free body on board to link summon with. Summons a token there. And then I play the 1 formation, so this card isn't really as played, I believe. Just because it's a little bit slower, it's not, the use isn't quite as direct as the other cards in the deck. I like it a lot just because you get that Monster Reborn effect, and then that token replacing when a card's when your insect's destroyed, that token replacement effect is pretty cool too. It comes in handy occasionally. So I like the 1. I probably wouldn't cut it. I wasn't playing it for a while, but I liked it well enough. Then we play the 1 Polymerization and 1 Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is pretty self-explanatory. Polymerization is kind of like my replacement for DPE. So they have the in-archetype fusion card, the I don't even remember what it's called, the spell card that's used to summon the Hercules. I don't like it. It's just too, like, it locks down your decision-making abilities too much with how it functions. So I like the Poly better because it works the same way. You can use your cards in your hand in the field. You can use it to summon the other fusion monster in the extra deck, which I'll show you here in a second. And then for the trap, I just play the 1 Flying Sting, the Search. This card's really good, and the recursion is nice. Like, just having that searchable back row that is does a pretty good job of shutting stuff down. Good one of. For the extra deck, so I'll try to get through these first few pretty quick because they're pretty standard. We got double Atlas, double armor horn, double Papillon, double Piccofelina. So these are very much like the standard extra deck cards. Maybe you could bump that up to 3 if you wanted the 3rd. I haven't really felt a need for it. If I did want the 3rd, I'd probably cut this card here, the El Mirage, just because I don't use it quite as much. So yeah, pretty standard. So we got the 1 El Mirage, the 1 Phoenix, the 1 Unicorn, the 1 Appaloosa, and the 1 Access Code Talker. So just really good, powerful cards here that I summon somewhat often. I would say these two, as far as non-archetype or non-insect specific cards, these two are the ones that I'm going to play the most. The other ones are here just because they're good options. And then this is what makes the deck kind of fun for me. So my 2 fusion monsters, I play the Hercules, just a big bad insect, just 4 insect monsters to summon. So it gets around the effects that might shut you down from being able to summon things other than insects, which would not let you summon the Chimera then at that point. So it would still give you that option, and it can get some, like, you're going to end up with lots of stuff on your field or in your hand that you're not necessarily going to be using or be able to use for your link summons. And so rather than just leaving monsters that don't really do anything on board anymore, you can just turn them into one big bad monster. I really like the Guardian Chimera for kind of the same reason. You're going to have a lot of resources at certain points that you may not necessarily need right now, and this effect is so good. I just didn't want to not play it. Like, I really like the card for the effect. I love the artwork. I wanted a deck to play it in, and I thought this one would be kind of fun, and it's worked out really well. The games that I am able to summon this and get the effects off, it ends up being a really, really nice, reload the hand, pop some stuff on the field, whatever it ends up being. It ends up being a really nice addition. So I like it so far. So something to think about. It's easy enough to splash into most decks, especially ones that do a lot in terms of generating advantage that you may not be able to use right away. So I wouldn't use it in something with a small monster count, but for something like this, I like it a lot. So I tried to get through that one a little bit quicker this time and not drone on and on about stuff that maybe you're not as interested in listening to. So if you'd like a further in-depth explanation on how I play the deck, I'd be happy to do it. Just let me know in the comments down below. If you have any tips or pointers or texts that you want everybody to know about or you want me to know about, comment that too. I'd be happy to have a discussion about it. I love learning from you guys. But I want to thank you guys for spending a few minutes with me here today, checking out this new deck I've been learning to love more and more every passing week. And hopefully I'll have some more information on it for you in the future. If you want to support me, hit that like button, give me a subscribe, let me know what you want to see in the future. And until next time, you guys have an awesome day.